Audio mute Good afternoon, one and all present here. It's immense pleasure to welcome you all for 5 days faculty development program, the emerging trends in research and teaching technology. Before invoking the session, let us begin with college prayer and get the blessings of our God Almighty.
Almighty God, you have spread true knowledge of yourself in Christ through your apostles and through St. Thomas in particular in this part of the world. We thank you for this example of pursuing truth beyond doubt. We thank you for the wisdom with which you have endowed men and women of vision to found this college. May the young men and women educated here go out into the world to proclaim, spread, and love for humanity. Strengthen them to overcome all temptations. May they, without fear of men, follow steadfastly where duty, right, and honor lead. May we strive to establish your kingdom on earth by serving the neighbors. We ask all this in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Professor Parani. And today's International FDP program is organized by Department of Electronic Media, St. Thomas College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore, Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. It's a 5 days program from February 26 to March 1st, 2024. The program consists of interesting topics with different subject experts from various platforms. They will be sharing their knowledge and ideology based on the theme of the faculty development program. It is the greatest opportunity to enlighten the knowledge and ideas of the research and teaching technology. So faculty members make use of the session, useful and remarkable one in your career. Let us start the program with the welcome address. So I call upon our beloved Head of the Department of Electronic Media, Dr. S. Ilango, to address the gathering.
Good afternoon, one and all. The Department of Electronic Media is happy to conduct the 5-day International Faculty Development Program on emerging trends in research and teaching technology. This faculty development program will enhance research scholars of various universities and colleges around the world. A hearty welcome to our Secretary, Sri Biju Chacko, to our Honorable Principal, Dr. T.S. Prema. I welcome our Vice Principal, Shift 1, Dr. Jayakumar, Vice Principal, Shift 2, Dr. Nagarajan. I welcome our IQSC Coordinator and Dean College Affairs, Professor Shibi Matai, our Dean Research, Dr. Naresh. I welcome our COE, Dr. Rasul Jayabadi, and our St. Thomas College staff members and staff members of various colleges and universities for 5-day FDP. I request all scholars of universities and colleges to attend 5 days regularly and get the benefit from various expert sessions. My hearty welcome to our resource person today, Dr. Arul Chelvam, for his valuable presence today to enlighten the scholars about writing research papers. I hope you will all enjoy the session every day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm extremely delighted to invite our beloved principal, Dr. T.S. Prema, to give away our presidential address.
A very good evening to one and all present in this Zoom meeting. At the outset, I would like to place my sincere appreciation to our beloved Secretary, Sri Biju Chacko, for encouraging us in all these academic endeavors. My praises go to the Vice Principals of Shifts 1 and 2, Dr. Jayakumar and Dr. M.V. Nagarajan, and Dean College Affairs and Chief IQAC Coordinator, Professor Shibi Matai, our COE, Dr. Rasul Jayapati, our Research Dean, Dr. Naresh, and Women's Student Affairs Dean, Dr. Susan Abraham, and our the most inquisitive and the talented artistic head of the department, Dr. Ilango sir, the organizing team, the coordinators, Mr. Sheikh Mohammed and Mrs. Nirmala, and the organizing committee comprising of teachers of electronic media. It's my great pleasure to extend my hearty welcome to the chief guest of this afternoon session. My appreciation and all my praise go to the department for conducting events of this sort, not only academics, but also the co-curricular activities like this. This is very important for teachers who are pursuing higher education in PhD. This research and teaching technology, which is basically based on the emerging trends of today's scenario, will be of great help to the young researchers who are going to present their PhD thesis as well as research papers in the indexed journals. My sincere appreciation to the resource person of this day, Dr. Arul Selvan, Assistant Professor, Selection Grade, School of Liberal Arts and Applied Sciences, Hindustan Institute of Technology and Sciences, Chengalpet, who is going to give or deliver a lecture on the process approach to write research papers. To my knowledge, research starts from, or it is conducted in two different stages. One is organizing the research or planning for the research. Number two, it is conducting the research and presenting the research report. So all these things involve the theory as well as the problem-oriented areas where we collect the information, collect the data, use the necessary tools of analysis, whether they are statistical or the econometric models that we are going to use based on the suitability of the hypothesis framed as well as the data collected and the variables, namely the dependent and independent variables. So this kind of a research FDP for 5 days will be of immense help to all the young minds for making their researches, their progress ready. In this way, I am duty bound to appreciate the efforts initiated by the electronic media department and especially the efforts by the head of the department, Dr. Ilango, who is always ever energetic, who is skillful and most talented in encouraging not only the teachers, but also students in various fields. I wish this 5-day program of FDP to be conducted smoothly, effectively, and the data or the message to get, it is to be dissipated among the young scholars, as well as I wish the participants as well as the resource persons to enjoy doing this as well as to have some takeaways from this 5-day FDP, which is of immense help to them. So with these few words, I once again congratulate the Department of Electronic Media of the proudest institution, namely our St. Thomas College, for organizing the same and also to conduct it smoothly and effectively on all these 5 days. Invoking the blessings of the presiding deity of this campus, Lord Jesus, let me conclude my presidential address by once again wishing you all a very grand success. Thank you.
Thank you, madam, for your words and constant support and blessings. Thank you, ma'am. I invite Professor S. Palani to introduce our guest for today to the audience.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure that we welcome Dr. Arul Selvan, Assistant Professor, School of Liberal Arts and Applied Sciences, Hindustan Institute of Technology and Sciences, Chengalpet. As our esteemed guest today, Dr. Arul Selvan completed his PhD in Sociology with a specialization in Medical Sociology from the University of Madras. Dr. Arul Selvan focused his research on overweight and obesity among college students. As an avid researcher, he has published scholarly articles in Scopus Index and UGC Care Index journals and presented the research papers in national conferences. With 3 years of teaching and 10 years of research experience, Dr. Arul Selvan has rich field experience from being project associate at Indian Institute of Technology, IIT Madras, research associate in United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, and researchers in Loyola Institute of Social Science, Training and Research. He is often invited as a resource person to conduct research methodology workshop in Madras School of Social Work, Chennai, Loyola College, Vellalar Education Trust Institute of Arts and Science College, Erode, and Roja Muthaya Research Library, Chennai, in collaboration with Tamil Nadu State Planning Commission and Madurai Kamarajar University, Madurai. He is trained in SPSS and NVO software by Sacred Heart College, Tirupur. Dr. Arul Selvan attended a 5-day faculty development program conducted by National Institute Teaching and Training Research, Chennai. He is a life member in Indian Sociological Society and Indian Association for Social Science and Health. His area of interest includes sociology of health, sociological theory, and rural sociology. He is recognized as a PhD research supervisor for sociology from Hindustan Institute of Technology and Science and is currently guiding 2 research scholars. On behalf of Electronic Media Department, St. Thomas College of Arts and Science, we welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Palani. I am privileged to invite our guest for today, Professor Dr. Arul Selvan, Assistant Professor, Hindustan University, to take over the session on the topic, a process approach on research writing. Sir, we welcome you, sir.
Yeah, thank you all for giving me an opportunity to deliver a lecture on approach. Yeah, whether I'm audible? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So thank you for giving me an opportunity. And before my presentation, I just narrate my life experience of research. Based on that, I hope I can start the session. So my PhD topic, let I sum up how I started my research topic and how it process went on and how things are gone. So based on that only, I will be explaining all those things for today's session. So my topic for my PhD topic, I have chosen like overweight and obesity. Why I have chosen topic is because I was obese when I was started my PhD. So when I was there, a lot of people during my school days and college days used to say that I was obese and all those things. So I thought of that, whether the same kind of trend is being there among the college students when they are obese. They have a kind of the similar lifestyle which I had. So I want to check whether it is, and if I have to check on that, I have to also look at it from a scientific process, because research is all about, it's not about storytelling, and it is also about the scientific thing which we choose and explaining the things. Okay, so that's how my PhD topic is started, because I was interested on overweight and obesity, and especially I was also from psychological background. So it is important for me to touch upon what I'm newly going to find out from sociology about the overweight and obesity. So this is how I have started, and gradually I have reduced my weight, and I also applied during the process of this 5-6 years of my PhD journey, and later on, and my thesis also worked out very well. Okay, so today we will be talking about how to choose a topic and how we going to conduct a research and how we going to write a research paper or thesis. Okay, so that's what actually. So I will explain all my process, how I started, and when I started, what is my topic, and over the period, how was my topic has changed, and finally, how it went on. So that's what actually the today's session will be there. I have a PPT. I will share my PPT and I will start the today's session. Yeah, whether it is visible, my screen.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So this is what, thank you for. So this is what the 3 stages for doing a research paper we have to do. First one is the pre-writing stage. We will be saying it. The second stage is writing, and third stage is revising it. Okay. So first stage is pre-writing. See what we say that what are the things we will be doing on the pre-writing stage. So choosing a topic is more important. More than that topic, it's about the uh, area which you are going to talk, okay, which you are going to choose. So choose a topic, choose an area which you are more interested and which you want to see on that, okay, explore on it actually. As I said that, because I choose my topic based on my interest, because I was being obese during my school days and college days. So I want to see that whether it has been the same situation, people who are overweight and obese at college days. So initial stage, what I thought of is actually my topic of my PhD is what I thought of is health risk behavior of adolescent among the college students in Chennai or Tamil Nadu. This is what my proposed area in the first DC of my PhD. Okay. But a lot of comments has been here because they have been asking about what is health risk behavior, what is adolescent, and I could not able to tell them what is actual the topic. So what actually I just is it is all about telling them. I want to see like whether the students have alcohol habit, or whether the students have the smoking habit, or whether they have a unhealthy lifestyle pattern like taking oil food as well as physically inactive, whether these are all important factors which what are the factors which have been there. So these are the which I want to look on it. But actually the DC member says that because I am from a sociological background, all this thing cannot be covered in one PhD, because alcoholism is one of the topic which you can do one thesis. Similarly, smoking is another, you get one thesis in that. So similarly, you can't do all those things. You just narrow down the topic, then you come for a second DC, and they have given me a feedback like telling that, and you also mentioned adolescent. So adolescent means during the college days, do you think that how many of them will be in adolescent stage? So what is adolescent? They asked. Then I said that as per WHO, it is like 10 to 19 years of period of time. And then they said that during UG, they will be around above below 20. So college students means whether you are going to look at a UG students, whether you are going for a PG student. Again, it's all about arts and science students or professional engineering students. So you have to be very clear on that. And they have told me to narrow down the topic for my second DC. So what I thought of that, again, I went for a review of literature. Why this item is because I also have public health perspective. So a lot of my public health has influenced more than sociology for my initial stage of my PhD. So what I actually, it was more from a quantitative approach. So quantitative in the sense we have a public health. In public health, we see that what are the risk factors for contributing for our unhealthy lifestyle. So how for the smoking contributes, how for the, find example, alcohol. So if we have this kind of what unhealthy lifestyle, we are prone to have a like a diabetic or cardiovascular disease. So this all will be a possible outcome of this unhealthy lifestyle and lung cancer and all those things. So that has influenced more on in the initial stage of my PhD. So that's the reason I thought of that. I want to cover all those things. So health risk behavior means again they asked me what is health risk behavior and all those things, and I couldn't able to tell that. I'm just tell that risk is a chance, and I want to just look at how many of them have the habit of smoking, how many of them have the habit of consuming an alcohol, and all those things. And finally, he asked me, so what you will be going to conclude the topic? Whether you are going to say that alcohol is going to be an unhealthy lifestyle, or what actually you are going to do. So I have not had an answer. Then went back and done a lot of review. And again, I had a peer team. So I shared my thoughts and idea to them actually, and they have guided me, like telling that, so you're from a sociology discipline, you have to try to look at the theories as well as, so what theory actually applicable for your area of interest. That's what actually the topic which you have chosen. And also you have to look at how you can connect those things. Then you have to look at an objective and all those things. And again, they told me, like, you just put it in a paper, what all are the things you are trying to think. So once you start putting it out, then you just look at it, whether this is my area or this is my area. So whether it all addressed all those places. And also go and do some review of literature. So based on the review of literature, you will have some idea what actually the work has already has done. So it gives you some kind of an idea, especially in the initial stage. So went back, then I thought of that, okay, alcohol, we no needed a smoking. Then I thought of that, okay, I read some of the articles about overweight and obesity. And after reading that article, what I come to know that is a lot of causes for overweight obesity. So it's like a medication, energy imbalance, or genetics, and all those things. Of this, WHO has given some kind of key findings that energy imbalance is one of the important risk factors. And automatically my idea thought of that, okay, we can go for this under the overweight obesity. We find out that physical inactivity and consuming high energy dense food plays an important role in overweight and obesity or not. If it is plays an important role, and what are the things might contribute to those lifestyle. So actually, again, I started off putting off thing, because I'm from, again, I want to remember, like, I am from a sociological background. So how I can connect this into a theory. So is there any theory related to the overweight obesity previously? Has anyone done based on that, or what actually? So finally, I come to, after talking to many of my friends and my supervisor and my colleagues, and what I understood it, okay, let me go with behavioral oriented, because sociology is all about behavior. So behavior in the sense, we have to find out whether physical inactivity and taking outside food plays an important role in overweight obesity or not. If it is a plays an important factor, then how this behavior has influenced them actually. For example, let's say, for example, I just again started jotting up, like jot listing of, okay, what about the family? How family as contributing or helping them in a physical activity and preparing a diet for promoting a healthy lifestyle. So secondly, they actually also look at peer group. So what's a peer group plays an important role in their behavioral pattern, especially in related to physical activity and taking outside food. And as well as, again, I just putting a map, like trying to see that whether peer group plays any important role in that. After peer group, is there any academic settings, because they are stay in colleges for a long time? Why college students? Again, there is a question. Why it is important to do a college students? So, if it is a college student, and what the future research can address to this? So then I finally technology. How for the technology influence this behavioral pattern? Is that social media and all those things playing an important role for their physical inactivity? If this, what are the things we have to try to find out? So these are all some of the important things. Actually, we have to try it out. So after putting all those jumbled sentence, whatever I said like to you, I put it in a paper and I tried it out. Then I found a theory called for sociology. We have a agents of socialization. So agents means what? Family, that school or college or whatever academic settings, peer group, and technology. Because as per sociology, we learn behavior through our agents. So our agent's family will teach us what is norms and values of the society. So similarly, I want to look at whether what about the physical activities in their families, especially among the overweight and obesity. So after putting this, all those things, then another important role I have to play here is whether I have to look at it. Sorry. So actually, putting all those things in one paper, and after finding out agents of socialization, how family gives an importance in physical activity, and especially whether they are allowing their students to take outside food or not. If they are allowing, then what about the cooking inside the house? So this is again some kind of thought, everything comes in. And if it is a peer group, if how, in what occasion they go and take outside food, and how many times in a week, and what are the situation, why they choose that particular food. And these are all some of the thing again, I thought of thinking it of. Then academic setting again, academic setting, where how far they give importance in, especially in college level, physical activity, whether they have PT period or anything of physical education or anything related to that actually. Okay, so after putting all those things and technology, how in a day, how much time they spend, especially for social media or any other thing actually. So if that's a way, I've just put on jot listed everything in a one paper, and I found that this topic will be on overweight obesity. In overweight obesity, what I'm going to do is like looking from a physical activity and taking outside food, especially high energy dense food. So these two are the behavioral pattern. In this behavioral pattern, how far this agent of socialization, how family, academic setting, peer group, and technology, each factors plays. Then after that, there is again one more question is like how you choose this, they are overweight and obese. How we come to know, how scientifically we prove them. So for that, what are the methods already has been there actually. So whether I am able to get that resource, whether I have that budget. For example, BMI is one of the cheapest method. Based on that, we can find out how far they are overweight and obese. Okay, and next is there are some kind of fat percentage machines out there to calculate how much of fat your body has. So based on that, again, we can calculate it. So if you want to have a correct kind of method for finding out the body fat, we can go for a DEXA scan, but it's too costly because my PhD study is not funded for any agency. So I have to meet up my whatever the money which I have spent, it's from my pocket. So I have to look at it, and I come to a conclusion that it is better that I go for a body mass index user, which is I can buy weight machine, and I can also have step meter to measure their height. So the next thought is about who I'm going to choose. Whether I'm going to choose adolescent, adult, or whom. Especially, I thought of that, okay, it is very better I go for a college students. Why it's a college students? Because actually the aim of the study is to find out factors which contributes. So college students, if we can promote their healthy lifestyle at this age, and it can reduce their mortality related to cardiovascular disease. So that's the reason I thought of that we touch upon college students, and we try to find out how far this agents of socialization plays among this behavior, especially among physical activity. And so again, physical activity, again, there is one more thing, how I'm going to measure their physical activity. Again, the resources which I have. So again, there is again talk, and again the budget, based on the budget. Then what I thought of that, self-reporting will be better one. And WHO has given some kind of tools to measure their physical activity. So anything less than 150 minutes moderate physical activity for 5 days in a week, less than in a week is considered as a physically inactive. So if you are 150 minutes, if you can contribute per week, that means 30 minutes per day into 5 days. If you have 5 days into 30 minutes, 150 minutes in a week, if we can do a physical activity, then it is called as a moderate. And if it is vigorous, if it is above 300 minutes a week, or 75 minutes of vigorous activity. So vigorous in the sense, the activity which involves your kind of oxygen to release more. That we call as an skipping, running. This is one of the things we can say that your activity. So based on that, I thought of that my topic will be. So this is how you have to choose a topic. Choose a topic based on the interest and which is you have a live experience, or because we choose a topic based on our interest and our experience as well as what we heard. So that's what no. So in a second DC meeting, after putting all those ideas, I presented like telling them my topic will be increasing overweight and obesity among college students in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. Again, they said that there is no whatever you said, it has to be replicated. Whether I'm audible, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Oh, okay. So that's what actually. So second DC, I have given them an idea. Then I tentatively I choose them the topic like increasing. Then again they said that there should be a word which is related to agents of socialization or sociological something. And later on I modified my topic like overweight obesity among the college students in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, a sociological inquiry. So sociology in the sense what I'm going to try to find out is how for this agents of socialization. So I grabbed all those ideas based on the reviews, books, whichever the materials I have, and I read it, and I narrowed down all those things. So this is what the pre-writing stage I did for my PhD. Similarly, for research paper and everything, you have to come up with the ideas. What are the data you have? So what kind of data you have and what is your objective? So finally, I framed my objective like first objective will be to evaluate the physical activity among the college students and to assess their eating habit and consumption of high energy dense food in eateries. And third objective is to identify the agents of social, to study the agent of social, agents of socialization like family, academic setting, and peer, how it contribute to this physical inactivity and consumption of high energy dense food. So this is how my PhD objective are framed. And what I found is from review of literature is research gap. So what are my research gap is like, I see most of the study I've used from quantitative perspective, and it is more from a public health perspective, like mentioning that if you are overweight obesity, there is a correlation of getting diabetes, and it is a correlation of getting cardiovascular disease, so lung hormonal imbalance thing. So a lot of from health perspective. So where my study will be different is I am trying to look at from a physical activity, because a lot of studies has proved that physical activity plays an important role, physical inactivity. So whether if it is plays an important role, how far these agents influences. So this is my second research gap for finding it more from a quantitative and from a public health perspective and from sociological perspective. That too from behavioral pattern of taking theory of agents of socialization is very less, not very less. It's new to this domain. So I thought of that. Okay, my study will be unique in this way. So finally, I found out my research gap and I applied it. My objectives, three objectives will be this. One is to find out the physical activity level of the overweight obese students. Second, the consumption of high energy dense food. And third one is the agents of socialization, our family, and all those things. Another after that, putting all those things against family, what are the things you are trying to look? In peer group, what are the things you are going to look? And from technology level, what are the things you are going to look? And finally, that's what this four peer group and academic setting. What are the things you are going to trying to look at from that perspective? Okay. I just share my second screen. So this is what actually. So second step is like narrow down your topic. So you have to ask yourself questions like, what do I know about overweight and obesity based on the review of literature? So what does overweight obesity include? Why is overweight obesity is important among the college students? How does physical inactivity and consumption of high energy food impact the overweight and obese college students? And finally, how does? So you have to put a question and you also try to find out the answer. So what do I know means you have to write down what are the things. As I said, no, the study more from a public health perspective. Therefore, I find like a risk factors. If you have this, you are more likely to have a overweight obesity. And if from a sociological, there is no that much of studies. And what does overweight obesity includes? Again, what are the studies and what is important? Why it is important? As I said that because they are the future, and it is important to touch upon to promote the healthy lifestyle, and it is also helpful for a policy making for the college students, especially in the academic setting. We can give some policy making. And fourth step is like how does this physical and inactivity and all those influences and agents of socialization, what are the things? Okay, so this is the second step. After picking up your area, you should try to narrow down your topic. This is some of the brainstorming. As said, whatever the things I just comes to my mind, I have just put on like family, academic setting, peer group, technology, and all that. A lot of things are being there. Final stage of my brainstorming, I just thought of that. Okay, I will add all those 4 agents and I try it out or something. Because a lot of people will give you a lot of advice. So you put all those ideas and find out which are the ideas which is suits you. Suits you in the sense it is which is reliable to your academic field, especially from your discipline. If you are studying if you are from an economics background, you have to more look from a quantitative. If you are from a sociological, it is better you go for a qualitative, or it is better that if you go into investigate this objective based on the mixed method. So these are some of the brainstorming. So brainstorming is to give a lot of ideas. You can put 30, 40, 50 ideas will be there, but you have to take decision based on that, which one will be right for my thesis, and you have to narrow down it. So fourth step is like a short listing. So family means, as I said that, what are the things, whether socioeconomic status, SES is like socioeconomic status, how far the socioeconomic status plays an important role, okay? And gender in the sense, how far the differentiation of gender is there. Because some of the ideas like telling that women have some kind of difficulties in accessing the public space. So WHO says that physical activity you have to do for reducing overweight. So if a woman students are overweight and obese, if they are being forced to sit, to not allowed outside, if there is a kind of a situation, so what kind of a thing we can do? So again, the gender and type of family. What are the type of family you're looking, whether nuclear family has more, joint family, and how far that process of family within inside it goes on. So all those things, because this is more from a qualitative, so it will be more from a explanation, finding out how theme and sub-theme, and quantitative will be one kind of a part, okay? So again, eatery near residing place. So is there any hotels or restaurants nearby the thing? We have to look at it. If there is a nearby hotel, very near to access, there's a possibility that students may go very frequent to the eateries and take a lot of food outside. So in what situation, these are what some of the ideas. I thought of that, I will put it into a question paper. And in academic settings, looking at a playground availability, usage of playground, because try to see whether playground is there. If it is not there, then what I have to do that. What they are going to do, and why not they are not using the playground for physical activity, and PT period is there. If there is no PT period, why there is no PT period? And what they do, especially in free hours activities, because in school days, if they have any free hours, there is a possibility they go for a play, taking a PT period or asking for a like games, and they participate like that. But in colleges, what I found is that it is reduced. So I want to see that whether it is reflected in my study, how far it is. Then peer group in the sense, how many of them peer have engaged in physical activity, if they are involved, then why they are not involving in it? So what is the reason for it? So these are all some of the peer group and how much time, how far they go with their peer to take outside food. So this is some of the record things I thought of that. Okay, we'll find out. And technology, as I said, that time spent in social media, especially Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, and all those period of things. Okay. And the second thing is discovering your topic about your topic. You have to read about books, articles, and just think about the interest which you have and note down all those and citing your sources. Again, here you have to look at it whether you are going to follow APA model. APA in the sense American Psychological Association model, or MLA, Modern Language Association, or Chicago. So you have to be very clear that which model, which school of thought you are going to follow it up. Whether it's a APA school of thought, or it is Chicago, or it is MLA. Especially for social science, it is recommended to go for a APA. Okay, so American Psychological Association, APA, full abbreviation, because thesis is not about what you say. It is all about you also citing someone's sources. Whatever the sources you read, everything you have to be putting it in a way. There is also in sources, you have to make sure that whether it is an intake citation, how to do an intake citation as well as reference. And if it is a another important thing also, tables. If you are putting a table of APA, how the table should be look visible, and as well as you also have to find out that direct quotes, putting of, if it is more than 40 words, if it is a quotes, someone says you are putting the direct quotes, means how you going to cite that. If it is less than 40 words, if it is more than 40 words, that school of thought of writing will be there in APA. So you have to find out, and you have to write down all those things in that way. If you're going for a APA. Similarly, we have Chicago. Similarly, we have MLA. So MLA, as I said, Modern Language Association. So you have to be clear which format you are going to follow, and you have to read all. You have recently you have APA 7th edition book. It contains of 290 or 300 pages. You have to read those things, because once you read those things, you will be very familiar with what is APA citation, and how you can avoid your plagiarism. So that will be very helpful if you can read those books. Even if it is a Chicago or MLA, you have to go and find out how far you can do that. So this is some of the, as I said, more from a Chicago, APA, and MLA. I will also, in the end of the session, I will also give you some kind of articles which followed APA style, which follows MLA. MLA I don't have, Chicago I can have it. So based on that. Then finally, you have to organizing the information, putting it like, as I said, like it will be like a jumbled sentence. You have to try to find out which one will be the first stating. For example, if you're starting with your introduction, in introduction, what are the things you are going to do? In body of the manuscript or article, what you're going to write, methodology. And methodology, what are the methodology you're going to talk about? If you're going to talk about analysis and interpretation, what are the analysis interpretation chapter will cover? So if it is a quantitative, your school of writing will be different. If it is a qualitative, your school of writing will be different. So you have to be very clear. So how are you going to investigate your objective based on quantitative or qualitative? Because it all reflects on your writings. Even if it is an APA, Chicago, or MLA, because more from, if it is a quantitative, you will be learning more from you will be writing more from numbers. If it is a qualitative, you have to you have to find out some themes, sub-themes. So it will be more from a textual thing. So you will be interpreting those things, what the participant has said. So word by term, you have to find out the thematic, and all those things will be, and what school of thought you are going to present. Whether if it's a qualitative, whether you're going for a phenomenological approach or thematical analysis or narrative analysis. So all those things also you have to be very clear in the writing stage itself. Because if you are very clear with your pre-writing stages, yes, I'm going for a quantitative method. Will be my paper age. My topic will be on this, and I'm going to investigate all those things in this way made, scientific made. Then you will be very clear, and you can go for your presentation. Okay. If you're not clear, if you could not able to answer of your peer group or anybody who asked you anything about your dissertation, then you will be in a trouble. If you could able to all the questions answer for it from your peer group, you will go for you can have a good successful writing. Because, for example, as I said that what is overweight, how you going to do define your overweight obese student, why it is among college students. If it is a college student, as I said that I have chosen only arts and science college, especially in University of Madras, because we have a lot of 13 deemed universities, 13 universities, which includes deemed university in Chennai. Of this, University of Madras has more affiliated colleges. So based on that, I have stratified the sampling like telling that aided college, government aided college, and self-finance college. Based on that, one men, one woman college from each stream. And again, arts, how many of them should be arts, how many of them should be from science background. So all this stratified. So I use multi-stage cluster sampling. Based on the each stage, I have given the explanation. So you also have to find out how the sample and what is your sample size for if you are going for a mixed method, what is your sample size for the quantitative and what will be your qualitative. Okay. And in a second stage, as I said, it will be a writing stage. So once you are done with your mapping and all those things, and the second stage will be your writing stage. In a writing stage, this is how your manuscript. So until it is get published, it will be called as a manuscript. Your manuscript will be like introduction, body, and conclusion. So in introduction, what are the things you are going to discuss? So that you have to make use of it. For example, my study is all about overweight and obesity. I also make clear that in introduction chapter, I have to say why overweight obesity is important. So I have to come out with the prevalence rate. Worldwide, overweight obesity is increasing. Similarly, in India, from 2006 to 2016, prevalence of overweight obesity is increasing. And similarly in Tamil Nadu. And if you come to the Chennai context again, and especially if you look at from a college students, again, it is getting increased. The study is done by, so you have to put many of their studies and make sure that why this study is important. So in introduction chapter, you say that. Second, you followed by like mapping out in introduction. After prevalence, will be my subheadings. Which subheadings will be, I have that flow. After prevalence, it is better that I talk about causes of overweight or risk factors of overweight or why college students. So if I starting with why college student, the flow will be disturbed there because I'm talking about prevalence. So the next part will be on risk factors. So in introduction chapter, the next factor after prevalence in subheadings, I have to look for risk factors. So why because of overweight obesity, what are the risk factors we have? We are prone to have non-communicable disease like heart attack or cardiovascular disease, as well as diabetics or BP or some hormonal cancers. So all those things will be, so that is why the second will be the risk factor. So if you are overweight obesity, you are prone to have this. And also you also trying to say that mortality in India of WHO fact sheet report says that in 2018, nearly 63% of mortality in India is because of non-communicable diseases, and overweight obesity is one of the risk factors. So again, you're putting that point there and making that study why it is important there to make sure that what will be happen for a future and why this study. Then causes. What are the causes for overweight obesity? As I said, that medical condition, all those things. So whatever I said, I add a proof. I'm not trying to say like just writing it out. I'm just saying that as per WHO fact sheet report says, as per Selvan studies as said, as per Irderajan study as said. Similarly, the study done by, so whatever the things I'm trying to say that I will put it in a, like mentioning that all the records has been already as done. And I have to make it in a flow. Then what theory actually? So sociology, we have a lot of theory. Why agent of socialization? I have to make it clear that. And as well as research gap, I already told why it is. And objectives of my study also, I told you. So in body, you have to say that methodology chapter first. After objectives, you have to say methodology, what actually the methodology you're going to find out. For example, I use convergent parallel mixed method study design. So convergent means both quantitative and qualitative data collection has taken place simultaneously. Based on that, quantitative data analysis will be used SPSS software version, and qualitative used using an NVivo software, as well as during that time I was not familiar with the NVivo. I went with a manual. So I done a verbatim, whatever the voice recording I recorded in a qualitative, I had a verbatim, and after that verbatim, I used to find out the theme and subtheme, because I used interpretative phenomenological approach to address my qualitative objectives. So for my quantitative, I just proportions. So the just a numbers. I never went with my results like with a scale statistics, t-test or gen test. I never went with that actually. So with that, because it's from a sociological and it's more from a behavioral oriented. So I thought of that it is better that my study more from a writings rather than the numbers, or to prove like significant or non-significant. It not makes any sense for my study, because my type of study is in that way. So again, in family, again, what are the things I have to going to write in family? Again, first, whether I'm going to talk about type of family, then socioeconomic status of family, the gender within the family. So in that way, the sub-themes I have divided. And again, academic, what I've thought of it, how for that government college is different from government aided and self-financed colleges, about the playground, about the students who study there, and actually about the time period they spend from morning college. Shift 1, shift 2 means what actually the shift 2 students at what time they get up, and why they could not able to do a physical activity. So all those things I was just mentioning in it. Okay. This is all for my dissertation. Even if it is for my paper, I can take each one. If I take a family as one theme or variable, I can write one paper on that. If I take an academic, I can write one paper on that. So based on that, if I talk about a family, then my introduction chapter will be changing, like how for the modern family has changed from the traditional family. So during that period of time, we have a lot of people of a joint family we have a joint family system. A lot of people used to take care of it, but suddenly we went for a. So similarly, that family type and how anybody has done in that previous review of literature, we can have that. Okay, so again, all that interaction chapter will carry based on the objectives and all those things. In conclusion, you are going to answer what are the questions you raised in the introduction based on the your variables and themes. For example, as I said, that agent of socialization like family, academic setting, and peer group technology has played some of the roles in overweight and physical activity and consuming high energy dead food. So I just putting like, because in initial stage I'm saying that prevalence risk factor, and in my conclusion part I'm trying to finding out that in socialization pattern, that family is not giving that much of opportunity for but they are advising their children to reduce weight, but they could not able to prepare their proper diet for them, or even they could not able to motivate. Some of them could not able to motivate. Few of the people are motivated, but the students are not interested to go for it, and some of lost their interest. So all those things you come out with a conclusion, because these are all the things you will be writing in analysis and interpretation. No, so introduction and conclusion should be have some connectivity, and it has to be have reflected. So this is how the outline of the form. In outline form, we have to make sure that whether it is role plays an important, whatever the things you have touched upon, it plays with the flow. So in the final stage is revising stage. In a revising stage, you just look at after drafting your paper, you have to look at it in which area your thing is good, and in which area you need. If it is a methodology, you need to work on it. You have to work on that. If it is the content is too much, too long in some area, you have to cut short, because as per APA, 5,000 to 7,000 words an article is enough. Some can go for 10,000, up to 10,000 words. So you have to make sure that your articles within the words time period of time. Sorry, words within the word frame. Okay, so 10,000 words to 5,000 words will be the thing. So you have to make sure that cut short out, whether if it is a content is too long, you have to cut short a few things. If it is a very less content, you just make it like elaborate that content. So in that way, you have to revise it. And organizing structure, again, you have to try and find out whether it goes with the flow. Because as I said that in introduction, whether it goes with prevalence, after prevalence is a risk factors are about causes. So it will not come in one stage. It keeps on practicing, it will comes up with. And revision for guidelines, make sure that whether audience understand your paper, sentence are clear and complete, a paragraph are lit. So this is some of the other important guidelines you have to follow it. And finally, you go for a proofreading guidelines, subjects and verb, whether and verb tense, pronouns, and all those things you have to look and see that. And finally, cite punctuation is correct, spelling is correct, whether capitalization is wordings are correct. So proofreading will give that idea. And finally, you just find out whether what are the things you have cited in text, whether it is you have mentioned in the references, cited properly, and whether you followed to the journals which you are going to publish. Means you just look at it, what the journals they needed, what kind of a font size, what kind of it is, whether MLA method or ABA method, or if it is. So in that way, you have to make it and write down your write down your research paper based on that. That's it, actually. So thank you for giving me an opportunity. So if time permits, I can also give you, can show you some samples of articles, or we can go for a question.
Thank you so much, sir. Now it is an open forum to discuss, share, and ask questions to the guest speaker. Is anyone interested to ask question? You can ask your question. Kindly raise your hands to raise the question. Okay. Now I call upon our department head, Dr. S. Ilango, to give his comment over the session.
Thank you, Professor. You have given a wonderful program in writing the research thesis. Excellent orientation. Very useful to the research scholars who are pursuing PhD. I am very happy that you have spent your valuable time in this academic session. Thank you, sir, once again.
Thank you, sir.
Dear participants, there is a feedback link in the message box. Kindly fill the form. It's there in the drop box. You can fill the Google form. And thank you so much, sir. As we come to the end of the session, I invite Professor S. Judy Anita to propose vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for inviting me. Good evening, everyone. I, Judy Anita, Professor, Department of Electronic Media, St. Thomas College of Arts and Science, feel very much privileged to deliver a vote of thanks on behalf of our institution at today's International Faculty Development Program on the emerging trends in research and teaching technology. As we all know that saying thank you is a respectful way to show appreciation to words would be less for our today's guest speaker, Dr. Arul Selvan, Professor, School of Liberal Arts and Applied Sciences, Hindustan Institute of Technology and Sciences, Chengalpat, India. As he emphasized on a process approach to write research papers. Sir, your talk not only gave us knowledge about approaches to write research papers, but also how to think like a researcher. Thank you very much, sir. Next, I would like to thank our Honorable Secretary and our respected Principal, Dr. T.S. Prema, because of whom this session wouldn't have been possible. Next, I would like to express our heartfelt thanks to our Vice Principals of both shifts, Dr. P. Jayakumar, Shift 1, and Dr. M.V. Nagarajan, Shift 2, who has also played a role of a backbone for us. A special thanks to our respected Dean, College Affairs, and Chief IQAC Coordinator, Professor Shibi Matai, for his constant support and who's been the backbone of our esteemed institution. I also extend a heartfelt thanks to the Dean, Research, Dr. S. Naresh, for his valuable support. Next, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to the Controller of Examinations, Dr. M. Rasul Jayapati, for his unwavering support in everything that we do. Then I extend my heartfelt thanks to the Dean and Placement Cell Officer, Dr. Susan Abraham, for her guidance and support. I'd like to thank our beloved head, Department of Electronic Media, St. Thomas College of Arts and Science, Dr. S. Ilango, who is being the pillar of our department. Thank you very much, sir. Next, I would like to grab the opportunity to thank all the heads of various departments, professors, non-teaching staffs, technical persons for their continuous support in everything that we do. Finally, I'd like to thank honorable delegates, university authorities, principals of various colleges, and various college professors, research scholars who participated in today's session. Last but not the least, I express my sincere gratitude to all my colleagues of the department, and I hope we continue to work like this and organize such programs in future for the betterment and upliftment of professors and research scholars. On behalf of our college's whole fraternity, I sincerely thank all the participants for joining us in today's session and for making it so lively. Thank you all once again.
Thank you, Judy ma'am. Thank you all the participants. Your feedback link is there in the message box. You can fill the feedback form. Thank you for participating for today's program. Meet you all in the next session tomorrow. Have a nice